Hello and welcome to the Car Care Nut channel. My name is AMD. I am a Master Diagnostic Technician with Toyota. Today we'll be talking about a 2015 to 2017 buying guide. We'll talk about some common problems, some things to look for, so let's get started. Before we get started in the categories, I'd like to mention one thing. As of the date of filming this video, this is the best Camry yet. It is the most reliable, most enhanced, and in my personal opinion, the best value. Starting with the engine. The engine in this car, both the 4-cylinder and the 6-cylinder, is even more improved. Most of the issues of the previous ones have been resolved even better. There is one common oil leak that we see. It's from the front timing cover. Again, most of these cars are newer as of the day of this video. Most of them are still under warranty, but it's something worth looking for if you're buying one or if you own one that's still under warranty. Here's where the general area of the leak is. This is how you inspect it, and this is how the leak typically looks like. If your car is leaking, get it fixed before it runs out of warranty. And if it is out of warranty, keep an eye on the leak. Typically these leaks don't get very bad overnight, but something to watch for. V6 engine in this car. You might Google the name of the engine. You might hear about oil leaks, rattle on startup, all kinds of other issues. I am here to tell you that the engine in this model has been significantly improved. I fixed these oil leaks on all the other models except the 2015 to 2017 Camrys. Other than the oil leak in the 4-cylinder, the V6 really have no issues that we've seen so far. Moving on to transmission. The transmission in these cars, bulletproof. Nothing really goes wrong with these transmissions. The only thing that I will note about this transmission is, even though Toyota doesn't recommend to replace the fluid for the life of the transmission, I would replace it every 60,000 miles. From experience, as the miles rack up, as you pass the 100,000 mile mark on this transmission, you start getting issues because of the fluid, so why not? It's not expensive. I would take care of that every 60,000 miles. Moving on to body, there's only one thing in this car that owners frequently complain of. Rock chips on the hood. The way the hood curves on this car, it is like a blank slate for rocks to hit. The paint Toyota uses is very thin to help with the weight and save the environment. So it's very easy to hit the hood with rocks and chip it. Make sure if you're buying one, look at the hood, make sure it doesn't have a lot of rock chips, and if it does, make sure they're not starting to rust. And if this is a car you already own, make sure you touch them up, buy some touch-up paint from the dealership, touch them up regularly so you wouldn't have any rust issues down the road. Moving on to chassis, there's a couple items on this. The first one is customers complain of a squawking noise from the front, especially when it's cold out. Like, it's a very horrible, you go in a dip in the road, you'll hear a horrible just squeak. Like, it sounds like a 20-year-old car. Well, these are your front sway bar bushings. They look like this. They're tiny little bushings that have been updated with a completely different design. They're not expensive to replace. Most warranties, extended warranties, will cover it. If you're out of warranty and you hear this noise, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Very cheap. I mean, on the highest side, I would estimate 200 bucks. That's the highest. It should be less than that to replace them. The other thing is, watch out for the XSE trim, and then there was a special edition trim that came in a blue color. Both of these cars are equipped with 19-inch wheels. In my opinion, if you're asking me, I would say don't buy these. They're very rough riding. The wheels get bent very easily. The tires are very easily damaged. If you're actually looking to buy one, I would highly recommend a tire and wheel package for this, because you're going to be bending wheels, destroying tires left and right, especially if you live in a city like the city of Chicago. Potholes everywhere. I see this all the time. These wheels bring more 15 to 17 owners in the dealership than anything else. So avoid these wheels if you can, if you must have them, because they actually look great. Just watch out for potholes and expect that you're gonna bend a wheel, pop a tire. Moving on to electrical. These cars are really problem-free. All the problems have been fixed. There's only one concern about this car. Again, the radios, they're a common problem with these cars. You'll get all kinds of rebooting problems, Bluetooth not working, different complaints. Here's a tip for you though. If you have a rebooting problem, first, make sure your phone is not a very old phone. Some of the old phones were not compatible with this radio and it throws off the radio and now you have problems with it. Second, if your phone is not old, this is what you should try. First, delete your car from your phone. Delete the Bluetooth. Second, reset the car's radio to the factory settings, basically deleting everything. The option is called delete personal information. Once you do that, repair your phone to the car and see, most of the time this solves all the problems with the radios. And one thing to be aware of, the dealership does offer updates. They're not expensive. My dealership, we charge $36 for an update. Every time you take it in for service, ask, do we have an update? It's $36, usually solves a lot of the problems with these radios. Moving on to hybrids. These are possibly the best years to buy a hybrid Camry, 2015 to 2017. They are really bulletproof. We have seen not a single problem with the hybrid system. Again, they require very small extra maintenance than a gasoline model. You need to replace the inverter coolant alongside the engine coolant. You also need to replace or clean the filters for the high voltage battery fan. Now, this is one thing about the high voltage battery fan. It is located on the driver's side by the door on the back seat. Right between the door and the back of the back seat on the driver's side. Make sure you don't block that vent. Make sure you shine a light in there. Make sure it's always clean. If it is not, make sure you get it clean and replace the filter. That's really the only maintenance you need to do on the hybrid battery. People often ask, well, how long does the batteries last? I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you this. Very low mile cars have a higher chance of a failing high voltage battery. So if you're gonna buy a hybrid and you don't plan to drive it much, I would look at the gasoline. You might be better off because it's not worth the extra expense at that point. People ask, what is the best year to buy in these three? I would say a 2017 4-cylinder SE trim. That is my personal favorite. I think it looks really nice. I think the options that it has are really nice. I think it's a great car to own. And for the prices of these cars have been dropping down. It's a great value for a great car. I hope this video was helpful and informative for you. If you like it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment below. Give a thumbs up to the video. May the Lord bless you and you have a wonderful day.